Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Blue Book Podcast. I'm Sara.
And I'm Adam. We're so happy you're here with us today.
Today, we're talking about something that everyone thinks about at some point in their life. It's time to change your life. You know, those moments when you look around and think, maybe I need to do something different.
Exactly. And I think everyone has those moments, right? When you wake up one day and think, this isn't working for me anymore.
Yes. So, Adam, when was the last time you felt like you needed to make a big change in your life?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. I think it was about 2 years ago. I was working in an office job, and every Monday morning I would wake up and feel heavy, like I didn't want to get out of bed. I was spending 8 hours a day doing work that felt meaningless to me, you know? I would sit at my desk checking emails, attending meetings that could have been emails, and I kept thinking, is this really what I want to be doing with my life?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And I remember thinking, if I feel like this every week, something needs to change. So finally, I started learning about podcasting in my free time. I would watch YouTube videos after work, read articles on the weekends, and here we are. It took time, but I got here eventually.
That sounds like such a difficult realization to have. How long did it take you to actually do something about it? That's amazing. Yeah, that Monday morning feeling is so real. I think a lot of people know that feeling.
Well, that's the thing. I didn't act on it right away. I think I knew something needed to change for maybe 6 months before I actually did anything about it. I kept making excuses, you know? Oh, the job pays well, or maybe it will get better, or I should be grateful to have a job. But the feeling just kept getting stronger. Right. What about you, Sarah? Have you had one of those moments?
Oh, I think a lot of people can relate to that. We tell ourselves we should be grateful for what we have, even when it's not making us happy. Oh, definitely. For me, it was about my daily routine. I was always tired, always rushing. I would wake up, check my phone immediately, drink coffee, run out the door. Every single day was exactly the same.
Yeah, that sounds exhausting.
It was. So I decided to change my morning routine completely. Now I wake up 15 minutes earlier, I do some stretching, I make tea instead of coffee, and I write in a journal for 5 minutes.
That's great. How do you feel now?
So much better. It seems like a small change, but it makes my whole day feel different. I'm calmer, more focused. It's interesting how small changes can have big effects.
Exactly. I think people sometimes think they need to change everything at once, you know? Like quit their job, move to a new city, start a completely different life.
Right. The all or nothing approach.
But sometimes the best changes are the small ones, like what you did with your morning routine. Or maybe it's changing what you eat for lunch, or taking a different route to work, or calling a friend you haven't talked to in a while. And you know what's interesting? I think different people need different types of changes. Some people need to change their environment, some need to change their relationships, some need to change their daily habits.
Yes, those small changes can give you energy to make bigger changes later. It's like building confidence, you know?
That's such a good point. For some people, it might be changing their career like you did. For others, it might be changing how they spend their free time, or maybe improving their health habits, or even changing who they spend time with.
Absolutely. And you know what's interesting? I think change is scary for everyone, no matter what language you speak. It's a universal human experience.
Right.
And I think sometimes people put pressure on themselves to figure out the right change. But really, any positive step forward is the right step. Even if it's not the final answer, it's still moving you in a better direction.
That's so true. When I was learning English, moving to a new country, everything felt like change. New language, new food, new customs. It was overwhelming at first. Yes, exactly. There's no such thing as a perfect change, just a step forward.
Wow, yeah, that must have been really challenging.
It was, but you know what helped me? I focused on one small thing each day. Maybe today I'll learn how to order coffee in English. Tomorrow I'll learn how to ask for directions. Just one small thing.
That's brilliant. Breaking it down into small pieces.
Exactly. And I think that's good advice for any kind of change. Don't try to do everything at once. Pick one thing and start there.
So, for our listeners who might be thinking about making a change in their life, what would you suggest? Where should they start?
I think the first step is just noticing. Pay attention to how you feel during your day. Are there moments when you feel happy and excited? Are there moments when you feel tired or frustrated?
Yeah.
Those feelings are giving you information. Maybe you feel happy when you're cooking, so you could try cooking more often. Or maybe you feel frustrated when you're sitting in traffic, so you could try leaving earlier or taking a different route.
That's great advice. Listen to your feelings.
Yes, and remember, change doesn't have to be permanent. You can try something for a week or a month and see how it feels. If you don't like it, you can try something else.
Right. It's like an experiment.
Exactly. An experiment. I love that word for this. You're not making a huge commitment, you're just trying something new.
And you know what? Even if the experiment doesn't work out the way you expected, you still learn something. You learn that this particular thing isn't right for you. And that's valuable information too. And you know what I think is really important? Celebrating the small wins. Like if you decide to drink more water every day and you actually do it for 3 days in a row, that's worth celebrating.
Absolutely. There's no such thing as failure, only learning. Oh, I love that. We're so quick to criticize ourselves when we don't follow through, but we forget to celebrate when we do. Even tiny victories deserve recognition.
Speaking of learning, I think it's important to talk about setbacks too, because they will happen. You might try a new morning routine for a week, then have a few bad days and slip back into old habits. That's beautiful. You know, Sarah, I think a lot of people are afraid of change because they worry about what other people will think.
Yes, and that's completely normal. I think people often give up on changes because they have one bad day and think, well, I failed, so why bother trying anymore? But one setback doesn't erase all your progress.
Exactly. And celebrating those small wins actually gives you motivation to keep going. It creates positive momentum. When I first started learning about podcasting, I celebrated every little milestone. My first recording, my first interview, my first published episode. Exactly. It's like if you're walking to a destination and you take a wrong turn, you don't go back home and give up. You just course correct and keep walking toward where you want to go.
Oh, yes, that's so common. Like, what if my family doesn't understand? What if my friends think I'm crazy? I love that analogy. And sometimes taking that wrong turn teaches you something valuable about the path you really want to be on.
Exactly. But here's the thing I've learned. The people who really care about you want you to be happy. They want you to try new things and grow.
That's right. And the people who don't support your positive changes, well, maybe they're not the right people to have in your life anyway.
Wow, that's a strong point. But I think you're right.
I mean, think about it this way. If your friend came to you and said, I want to try something new, I want to make my life better, would you try to stop them?
No, I would encourage them. I would be excited for them.
Exactly. So why do we think other people will react differently when we want to make changes? Most people will be happy for you.
You know what else is interesting? Sometimes when you make a positive change, it inspires other people to make changes too.
Oh, that's so true. When I started my morning routine, my roommate saw me doing it and she got interested. Now she does yoga every morning.
That's amazing. So your change helps someone else make a change too.
Yeah, it's like positive energy is contagious.
I love that. Positive energy is contagious. So to our listeners, if you're thinking about making a change, remember that you're not just improving your own life, you might be inspiring someone else too.
And one more thing I want to say to our listeners. Be patient with yourself. Change takes time. Some days will be easy, some days will be hard. That's completely normal.
Yes, progress, not perfection.
Progress, not perfection. I love that phrase, Adam. That's going to be my new motto.
Well, I think that's a perfect place to end today's conversation. Thank you so much for listening to the Blue Book podcast. If today's episode inspired you to think about changes in your own life, we'd love to hear about it.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with just one quick practical tip. If you're ready to make a change but don't know where to start, try this. Write down 3 things that made you happy this week and 3 things that frustrated you. That list will show you what to do more of and what to change.
Yes. And remember, you don't have to make huge changes all at once. Start small, be patient with yourself, and enjoy the journey. Next week, we'll be talking about finding your hobby. activities that make you happy and help you relax.
That's brilliant, Sarah. Such a simple exercise, but it gives you a clear starting point. And remember, even if you change only one small thing based on that list, you're still moving forward. Until next time, I'm Adam. And I'm Sarah. Take care, everyone.